What's up, everybody? Speed Demon 806 here, and I think I have come across one of the best third-party controllers from a company called Nonbliep. Let's talk about it.
So one day I was reached out to by a company called Nonbleep, and they decided to send me a controller with a manual and a charging cable. And I could tell these were going to be some great products. So by looking at the manual, I could tell that the print quality is top tier. It's very crisp, it's very clear, and as we look at these instructions, I notice it's very cut and dry. It's not blurry, it's not hard to read or hard to understand. It's just clear, concise, and to the point. So we just saw the button layout, and now we're going to see the connection method. So for this, we're going to connect the cable to the PS5, the other end to the PlayStation controller, and you push the controller just so that way you can pair it, and then you disconnect the controller, then you push the button again to simply use it with your system. Now, one thing about this is it didn't come with a charging brick because you're going to use your system to charge it as you pair it. But I understand that some people may just want to have a brick so that way you can charge it standalone, but there's a lot of peripherals that you can use nowadays. Anyways, looking at this controller, we can see that it's great quality, or at least appears that way. But upon first grip, first feel, it has a nice sturdy feel. The thumbsticks don't have any play in them, which is a great indicator of good quality in my opinion. And just, I like the all-around feel. As I was messing around with the trigger and the bumpers, I noticed not only did they have good texture, but they had good resiliency and also felt like they were very sturdy. I can't express how much of a sturdy feel it has. And also the grips has kind of that same texture. And on the back, we have these little buttons. So two programmable buttons that you can select to program your controller however you want. One thing about this touchpad up here is it feels like it's on a roller, like a ball or something. I don't use any games that require the touchpad per se. It does feel nice and sturdy, but it's just it feels different than the PS5 controller in terms of that rolly feel. It wiggles left and right, as you can see here, and it also wiggles to the front and the back, which I don't see a problem with. It's just a difference. It's unique. Now, one thing that I really love about this is the D-pad. It doesn't just sink down. Now, if any of you have bought third-party controllers and you push the center of the D-pad and it sinks down, that's a no-go. This, it has a nice roll feel to it. Okay, so right here I have the cord inserted and I connect it. And as soon as I connect it, I notice that the little home button illuminates, which is a good sign. So all we're going to do from here is push the button. As per the instructions, it tells us right there, there's a little picture. It shows us we're going to push the button. And what this does, this simply pairs it to the PlayStation and says, hey, we're good to go. Once that's done, you remove the cable and then you push it again, turn it on, and now look at this. I really love the light setup on this. I love the LEDs on the joysticks and in the buttons. And if you look up here, the PlayStation registers this controller just fine, and it works. But looking at this, we can see that this thing is lit up like a Christmas tree. So if you look at the buttons, they're slightly different. They don't have the X, circle, triangle, and square. There's a triangle and there's some symbols. The LED lights, the LED sticks have those little LED lights around the edges, and even the D-pad is lit up. That's really cool. Now, if you look here, you have a light button. So you can push that and you can cycle through the different light settings. And each time you push it, the controller vibrates. I think that's really cool. It's something that's not needed, but it's a nice little something extra to enjoy, bringing a little bit more customization to this as opposed to a PS5 controller. So first play of Wukong, this is pretty good. There's no stick drift. There's no lag in the inputs with the joystick. And so now I'm switching hands to go to the other side and test the buttons, test the inputs for the striking and see how quick that is. And it's pretty good. I know you can't see my thumb pushing it as distinctively as you might like, but it feels good. It feels sturdy. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel like there's too much resistance. It's like the perfect push, perfect press, and great responsiveness. So here's some gameplay against a couple of enemies. There's a couple small enemies, but responsiveness is everything. And so for me, I'm demonstrating here that it's good. It's good enough for me. All right, so now we're going to move to the next portion, which is the wired PC connection. Basically, this allows you to play your controller with your PC as a wired connection. So obviously you got to make sure your PC is turned on, and you connect it to your controller, and then it tells you the controller connects to the computer via USB-C cable. So depending on what you want to do will depend on what you need to do for your controller, meaning emulators and whatnot. So I've got it connected, I've got an emulator running, and I'm going to play Super Mario World. So as I go in to map my controller, I notice immediately I'm able to input my inputs and map everything to my controller so I can get ready to play, which is really nice because some third-party controllers don't have that luxury. Sometimes you have to disconnect, reconnect, you have to figure out what's going on, you have to turn on the controller before the emulator or turn on the emulator before the controller. This one, you connect it and it's good to go. So I've chosen to play Super Mario World. It's a very popular game, and it's something that requires a little bit more precision. And one thing I'll say about wired connections is I feel like a wired connection would eliminate any lag at all if there was even any. And so I chose to play this level just for the dexterity and the ability to play how I want, so I can test the controller. And one thing I do notice is that there is a lot of good precision. I'm able to do the things that I want. I'm able to have control over my shell, even though I just died. But I can do a shell drop right there. I can jump around. I can do all of the things that I want to and need to for the precision. Now, like I said, the purpose isn't just to see if I can beat this level, but it's simply to see if I can have full control over Mario and do the things that I want to do. So for this next portion, we're going to move on to the Bluetooth connection. So different PCs, different laptops may have different areas where you connect your Bluetooth devices. But ultimately, your device is going to have an area where you have to make sure your Bluetooth connection is turned on. And then as you can see here, you're going to have these two buttons, what would be the select and the home button. Push those two and hold them, and you can go into pairing mode. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to push and hold these two, wait for it to go into pairing mode. It lights up, and as you can see, the home button's blinking. Then we navigate on our computer and add device. However your computer navigates you, follow those promptings on your computer. And depending on what kind of computer you have, will depend on how it pops up or what it looks like. But here we can see it says DualSense wireless controller. So I'd go ahead and connect, and it's ready to go. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, close out, and we're going to try to play some more Mario and see how it works then. And we're off again. Same level, doing the same thing, testing for the same things in the controller. And once again, I noticed there's no lag. I still have full control over Mario. I'm able to do the precision pieces that I want to. And even up here with the Chuck, I don't have to worry about hitting him. I can do a shell drop, and I'm good to go. And I like to do shell jumps. So that's basically where you throw a shell against the wall and bounce off of it before it hits the ground. And it requires precision. And so I was able to execute that. And don't mind me going crazy with the shell. I just simply want to practice the precision piece. While we're doing this, I do want to say that this controller does have some other functions. So you do have those two buttons on the underside of the controller that you can program different macros to do different things. I'm not going to go through those simply just because it takes a little bit too much time to explain, and you kind of get the idea. The other button under there is a turbo feature. So if you have a shooter game and you're tired of spamming the same button, you just program it to the turbo and you're good to go. So my final thoughts about this controller are very high. I see this as a very comparable option to the PS5 controller. I like the versatility it has with the additional buttons, the ability to program macros, the turbo button, the light up features, the rumble features, the USB-C cable being long enough to connect your controller so you can set it down somewhere so it can charge if you want to do it that way, and the ease of connection. That's probably one of the best things I enjoy about this controller is the ease of connection and lack of lag, and the instruction booklet. Even something simple as an instruction booklet can go a long way for a product. So if you're wanting to snag this up, you can snag it on Amazon for about $48.99. I will include it below, and it comes in various different colors.
All right, so that about wraps it up. I mean, to me, it's pretty solid. It's a great option, and I will make sure to include the link down below. You can get it on Amazon for $48.99. And to me, compared to the price of what the actual PS5 controller is running for, it's not a bad deal. And the versatility and the options that I just discussed are amazing. Anyways, that's all I got for now. I'm SpeedyMedi706, and I'll catch you guys later.